What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Robinson Motorsports. If this is your first time here, you like working on, talking about, and riding motorcycles, hit that subscribe button because I do a lot of cool things on this channel. Project Frankenripper is pretty much in full swing. I'm just waiting on a couple parts to come in. USPS is doing their own thing right now, and it's kind of making parts and things hard to get in a timely manner. I've just been kind of cleaning everything up, cleaning the transmission up, getting all the dirt and grime out of there. I got the cases vapor blasted by my buddy Liam, so they look sweet. They're awesome. They're ready to go. I got the crank bearings sitting in the freezer. I'm just waiting on shift forks from a friend. He says he's got a couple. I'm going to kind of compare those to the ones that I have. Maybe I can mix match and make that shift maybe a little bit better. You know, just kind of freshen it up the best that I can. There is one that's, the right one is a little bit worn on it, and I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. We'll see how his looks. I got a set of triple trees coming in for that. I have the suspension to go through yet on that. I have to send the cylinder out to Power Seal to get that done. So while I'm waiting on parts on that, I figured I would go ahead and finish up my DR here, the solid mount fairing that I'm doing. I didn't weld it. My brother couldn't really figure out his welder that he had, and I said, you know what, whatever, it's the first version. I want to see how I like this. Maybe I need to tweak it, so maybe welding isn't the best idea. So I got that as tight as I can. It's bolted. It's great. I have the wiring harness and the clutch cable on this side. Get the tank out of the way. Bought some P-clamps here. Put those in. I kind of hit them with a hammer to get them onto the way of the tank. They seem to fit nice. I got another P-clamp over here for the throttle cable, and my battery tender cables in here, which tank fits nice on there the way those are. I kind of hammered them, kind of molded them to where I needed them, and so they're not going to rub on the tank, and the cables are going to be loose enough in there. The battery tender cable that's in here is actually going to be a power supply that I'm going to put on a relay for my dash. That's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be probably in another episode. This one I'm just trying to get it functional again, so then I can kind of put it away. Maybe if I have time to get to it, I'll get to that wiring harness. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing some stuff here, and I guess I'll chime back in here and there, show you what I'm doing. Alright, so I got to get some more parts. I only bought like one set or two of each 3/8, ½ inch, and 3/4 inch P-clamps at Home Depot. They're ones I found. I was there, so I just grabbed them. That's what I used on the mount here that goes underneath the tank. I need one that'll fit an M8 that will go right here, and it'll hold the main harness right in there. Then I need another one of these ½ inch ones, because see the harness comes up here, goes around behind here, because there's definitely enough space in here. Need another one of those ½ inchers to go right here, hold the harness right there, and then everything's going to get plugged in and kind of sit right here on top of the triple here. It seems to be pretty happy there. I might make a little standoff off of this mount right here, make a little standoff to kind of zip tie some of this stuff steady and give it a little bit of a joint. There's a little bit of room right here that I can kind of push this in further. You see, I can get that all the way up in there, so I can kind of utilize this space that I have right here for all those plugs, keep those kind of centrally located in there, and then just have this joint move with the bars. So that looks pretty good. This hole is still empty, which is cool. I have the dash that I still have to come up with. Oh, quick announcement. If you're in the upstate New York, Rochester, Finger Lakes area, Naples, the club that I'm involved in, Wayne County Motorcycle Club, puts on a adventure tour. Past couple of years, it's been about a 150-mile loop. It's called Thrills in the Hills. And I'd say, man, I think last year it was close to 110 miles of dirt roads. So it's kind of a cool little ride. We put that on. I don't know how much it is because I always pre-ride it. This year, I'm actually going to be planning the route and setting it up. So I'm planning on vlogging a lot of that. The process that I go through. I have a bunch of GPX tracks that I already have of a bunch of routes that I've made around that area. I'm going to try stitching them together and seeing how much dirt road I can link together or just minimal asphalt. So that's going to be a really cool adventure. I'm going to try vlogging a lot of the computer work on that too, because one of my main goals is to be able to get it into a GPX format, get it out to the riders and the people that attend this event, so then they can load it onto their GPSs, onto their phones, and be able to follow that route turn by turn. I mean, we're in the 21st century here. We should be able to do that other than using a little ticker tape, which we've been using in the past. So hopefully I can get that done. I've done a lot of routes just messing around with this and kind of figuring that out, but I've never used a TomTom. I've only used Garmin, Gaia GPS on my phone, but I ended up blowing my camera up twice out of my iPhones using a RAM mount. RAM mounts are awesome, don't get me wrong. They are definitely worth the money, except for it shakes the living shit out of the iPhone and it'll blow the camera out of them every single time. So subscribe to this channel. That whole adventure series I'm probably just gonna end up putting underneath the DR650 adventure. I might make another one, but subscribe for that. I figured that this dash that I have, the factory one for the Lynx, see right here, I already got my RAM mount on it and whatnot. It mounts down here to the handlebar mounts. So I actually want to cut it right here to see if it fits. I could use a saw, I could use a Dremel, but I saw one of my buddies actually use on his channel, T. Morgan Spalding or Highland Cycles. Check him out. He's building a van right now and it's going to be awesome. It's the same van I drive every day for work. So seeing him put dirt bikes in the back of it's kind of making me think, hey, maybe I could move some stuff around and get a bike in here, and maybe on some of the jobs I can turn around. Anywho, he used a hot knife, basically, just a torch here and a razor blade. Heated up the razor blade and he was cutting the mat out of that van. So I'm going to try the same thing because it's just HDPE or just regular piece of plastic here. This one's pretty thick, but I might be able to get it enough that I could bend it over and break it and then just kind of trim it up with the thing. So I'm going to do the best that I can with one hand and we'll see how this goes. Hold on a second, I got something for this. So as that plastic's melting, I remembered like this smell, this distinct burning plastic smell, and I realized that I have a plastic welding kit that works like garbage from Harbor Freight. And opened this up, saw there was a triangle in there, and I was like, okay, well, okay, well, it's not gonna work. But then I realized I have a Matco soldering iron with a triangle blade for cutting. So that's heating up now, and we'll see how this works. Rob's gonna yell at me for this blinking light. One more pass. I would call that a success. Let's see how it fits. All right, so the factory angle here off of the top mounts onto these two bolts, and it's just not gonna work because see, we're higher for that frame mount. So I'm gonna have to cut this off here for one, and for two, these angles and the thickness of this right here, or the width of the side panels, is too much because I can't get it to fit flush up against there. So I gotta trim these and trim that top, and then see if I can get it to fit maybe up there or just down here. So I'm sitting on the bike and I have my dash here that I cut the sides off of, and the top, the bottom, whatnot. So I'm going to mount it right here. If you see, the sides aren't too bad, you're not seeing much of a gap there. And I could go a little bit higher, I might notch these out. But basically, the camera's on my chin right now, and that's what I'm gonna see. Alright, well there you have it. Basically what I did right here was I marked out the two spots, and I used a file, the edge on the file. And I was able to file through the plastic down to here to notch it out. It's not permanently mounted yet, but might be using like these two holes and maybe two holes down here. But here's my heated grip mount, or my heated grip controller. We can probably stick that right there, or even over here. Anywhere, I mean, that's got that there, and then there's my GPS. Mount that right there, and it's looking pretty good. It'd be nice to have a 12-volt outlet here for something. Maybe a couple more USB ports. I kind of want to put a voltmeter because I see a lot of people running them, and if I start running heated grips and I'm charging my GPS, I might be kind of pushing the stator a little bit. So it might be a good idea to put a voltmeter on there just to monitor that. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with how that came out. I mean, I guess I could have paid more attention to filling this little gap in here, but I could probably just bolt the extra wings in there. Most of this is going to be cleaned up once I get these two mounts. I like it. I think I can live with that. Alright, I got everything pretty much set where I want it with this main harness. I got another clamp right here. Let's see how this tape's in the way. So it's holding it tight to the frame all through here. I got another one here that's holding it tight to the frame here. Then it loops around back, or front rather, to another P-clamp here. It's nice and tight there. And then I have all the access going underneath in between my 2-inch risers here. So I'm pretty happy with that. It seems to move fairly decently. I hate to say it, but I have to weld this steering stop block, maybe add about 1/8 of an inch on either side, just because over here at full lock the tube just gets into the harness too much, and for it to be safe, I think I should just weld up that stop, make it just a little bit wider. Yeah, I'm gonna lose a little bit, but this is more of a road bike. Even off-road, I don't think you're gonna lose that much because you can just kind of lean the bike in a little bit. So I have the dash made up. I have to wire that in, and a cool thing about this Lynx fairing is these two little bullet connectors here are switched power. It's just a jumper off of that the headlight lead there. So whenever you turn the key on, that has power. I'm going to use that to charge a relay, which is going to run main power, battery tender port, which I already put a 15 amp fuse. I might drop that down to a 10. But I'm gonna have that go to a fuse box, and then I'll have it go to all my accessories, including my heated grips. So that'll be in another episode. Subscribe. It's gonna be awesome. That segment's gonna be cool because I'm gonna be ending up building a mini harness for it, like a breakout harness, and just stick around for that. I will see you on the next one.